I am Daniel Lucas, and welcome to Book 101 Review. Book 101 is all about the books that I've read for the last 40 years, and today I have my special guest. She is leader and love coach, no other than Miss Katherine Hood.
Hi, Danielle. Thank you for sharing this time with me today.
Welcome to Book 101, Miss Catherine, and can you please introduce more about yourself?
Yes, I am a love and leadership coach. I coach individuals and groups of individuals in leadership and love, primarily in relationships that they have with their partner of life. But also, I expand that outwards to other relationships that you have with yourself, with life, and others.
Indeed, love, and with the leadership, Miss Catherine Hood. Thank you so much for sharing your knowledge to the world. And today, let's talk about your favorite book that empowers you as a love and leadership coach. Can you tell us about it?
Yes, I absolutely love this. The Relationship Handbook. Dr. George Pransky. I've met him and his wife. But anyways, this book is something that you can listen to it or read it 100 times, and every time you'll grab new nuggets and learn new things and have new insights. And it is a foundation that I work from in my coaching. So a lot of what's talked about in this book is understanding where your feelings come from, really being grounded in how your thoughts, your mind, and your consciousness play a role in your reality. And it's that is really the foundation. This is aimed towards your relationship to others as well. But the foundation is really understanding and taking ownership of how your feelings are created, evolved, and no longer pointing the finger at your partner for making you mad or making you happy. It's really standing in that ownership of where your feelings come from. And typically what that ends up doing is you become a leader in the relationship. Again, love and leadership coach, right? So when you lead the way in a relationship, you really stand in your own power, you understand where your feelings come from, then the other person ends up mirroring those same tendencies, right? So if you come to dinner, let's say, come to dinner in the evening and you're feeling calm and at peace and you're really understanding where your feelings come from, your partner is going to mimic and mirror those same emotions. So it's really about standing in your own power, taking ownership of how you think, how you feel, what you believe, and living from that energy. So that's really what it's about in a nutshell, even though that it's the 25th anniversary, I believe, of this book that this was written.
Miss Catherine, did you notice any shift in how you perceive your current or past relationships after reading the book?
Yes, huge shifts. I used to, again, coming back to the dinner time, right? Come to dinner, come to the meal, and I would come armed with how horrible my day was, right? I would come home and point the finger and blame how I felt about my day, what I experienced in my day, what I was experiencing in that moment on other people, places, things, situations, and circumstances. Like I was pointing the finger and blaming everybody else for how I felt. And I felt validated in that. I saw other people doing it, and that was normalized. What this book does is it really shares real life examples and stories. Like there's so many in this book, how that's not true, right? My husband can't make me happy or sad. right? He can't. He doesn't have that ability. Sure, he might be able to, in small bursts, attempt to make me happy or attempt to make me angry. The thing is he doesn't have the light switch to my emotions. The light switch to my emotions is within me. I'm not giving him that power, because if I give him that power, then he could take it away, or he can give it to me, and that gives him ownership of my feelings. So yeah, it impacted my life significantly.
Totally agree with you, Miss Catherine. And because of that, I'm gonna give you very well said. Which chapter or idea resonate with you the most and why?
Oh my gosh. What a good question. Um, Probably number 6, compassion or resentment. So again, let's just go back to the dinner table again. You come home from work, a long day at work, brutal day, right? All filled with all kinds of highs and lows. And maybe in the morning before you left for work, my husband left floss on the counter in the bathroom. I could see that he's already left for the day. Let's pretend he's already left the day. I see the floss on the counter, and I could hold that in my mind all day long, that how dare he leave that out on the counter all day long? Why did he do that to me? He must have done that purposely to make me angry, right? So all day long, I could sit there and boil and stew on it and think, I'm going to get even tonight. I'm going to rip his head off and tell him how ungrateful he is, right? So again, this chapter number 6 is compassion or resentment. So I could look at that floss and see it as a sign or a signal that my husband is really absent-minded, in a way that something is bothering him. Maybe he didn't sleep well. Maybe he's remembering that today is his father's birthday that passed away, or something has him shifting in a way that I want to seek and understand what's going on. Something's off, something's changed, something shifts. So I come from compassion versus resentment, right? So the resentment piece is me, 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 me. You did this to me, and blaming and complaining again. Where compassion is really using it as an opportunity to reach out and say, I love and care about you. Is something going on here? Because something's shifted, something's changed. And if there's something like a burden I can take off of you, or maybe we could go to bed early or whatever. So coming from compassion is seeking to understand my husband and what's going on, versus coming from anger and me, right? It's personal.
Miss Catherine, what limiting habits or thought patterns did you identify in your own relationships while reading?
Before reading this,
Yes.
I used to think it was a competition to see who had the worst day. Like, oh, you had a bad day. Well, my day was worse than yours. Yeah, that was a really toxic way of having dinner.
For sure. Let's talk about understanding core concepts of the book. How do you interpret the idea that our feelings come from our thoughts, not our circumstances or circumstances?
Yeah, and I think it really goes to the stories that they provide. It's almost like they give a lot of evidence in the book that your stories in your mind that you believe and get hooked to, wedded to, and add fuel to, that's where your feelings come from, right? We were given the gift of thought when we were born, and we can abuse it or use it to empower us, right? So we can think in any moment, just like the floss, right? Leaving it on the
Yes.
counter, think that that's a personal attack. He did that on purpose. I'm his maid, right? Now I'm, making so much meaning out of something really insignificant. But the book gives so many examples that allows me to be open-minded and see it in my own life. when I see it in my own life, new examples, it allows me to realize I have choice in every moment and how I want to feel. Like if somebody's tailgating me on the highway, I can choose to make that mean something, that I'm a bad driver, or I can choose to make it mean they're in a hurry. I'm going to slide over and let them go by.
So, Miss Catherine, as a love and leadership coach, what are the principles that you want to integrate with being a coach?
To answer that question, I would say I want to educate, serve, and provide a space and a way for other people to shift and create a life that they don't need a vacation from, right? So I used to believe, prior to coaching, I used to believe, well, I got to go on vacation to feel happy. I used to have to think that I had to go somewhere else to feel good, right? Staying at home is just the grind, it's the work. And I have created a life over the last 7 years that I don't need an alarm. I don't wake up to an alarm anymore. And I've created a life that I don't need a vacation from. I have really established habits and routines and a way of living that's fulfilling, it's meaningful, and I want to create it like in a contagion, right? And allow other people to feel that same energy and that same feeling and create a life that they don't need a vacation from.
Indeed, interesting, Miss Catherine, and very well said. How does the book Simplicity and Explaining Relationships impact in its effectiveness?
The simplicity of it is, it's so easy to read and understand. It's in the audio version, the newest audio version that you can get off of Amazon, or the Amazon audiobook. It
Yes,
has both
Audible.
George and Linda in the book, which is his wife, and she's it's her voice. The voice for George is actually his brother, but it's so well written. It just sucks you in. It's just you just feel drawn to it. You feel it's written from the heart, and so many real life experiences that when you read it, you kind of have these images that it creates in your mind. It's just, it pulls you in. It'll draw you in and have you excited to hear and learn more. Like, what's more to learn? How do I know more about this? How do I have this in my life? Because it really points to living your life in a lighter, freer way, right? So we're no longer, again, carrying that burden all day of my husband left floss on the counter. I'm not his maid, and look at what he's doing to me. Now I'm living a life from, oh, I'm noticing a shift, a change in the household that maybe he needs me to do more for the next week to give him that reprieve to rebound and manage his own feelings. Like, I'm no longer managing his feelings, I'm managing my own. And when we manage our own feelings, we can come together at the end of the day, two amazing, incredible human beings, and share what we learned each day. We can come together at the end of the day and at dinner time really compare stories of what we experienced, what we saw, what we saw, exciting things that we learned or new things that we want to try. It's no longer a competition of who had a bad day, who had the worst day. It's really sharing a life together, navigating through maybe any challenges in a way that we're on the same team versus, him and me, and then the floss in the middle, and we're just kind of like poking and blaming each other. We're now a team. We come together and we look at that floss as just a signal, an alert that something's off, something needs maybe more attention, and how can I be of service? Do you want me to hear you out? Do you want a hug? Do you want help with something? Is there, and it may be nothing. It may have been just accidental, and that's okay too. And we can laugh about it. It's laughable because I've been with my husband now 21 years. And I would say, honestly, 10, 11 years ago, I would leave it there and punish him for it, right? No dinner for you, right? I
Yes.
would made that floss into such a big deal. And so it's like that the book really helps you walk through life in such a easy way. And again, coming from compassion versus resentment, right? So compassion
Yes.
is light, right? Resentment is a heavy burden and it's painful.
Miss Catherine, what will be your short term and long term goals as a love and leadership coach?
Oh, you have so many good questions, Daniel.
Thank you.
Short term is really meeting new people and providing value near and far. Long term is to write a book. And
Yes.
I have an outline just of the chapters, just the each chapter what I would be willing to write in depth about. But that's as far as I've gotten is just the chapter titles. And there's a few notes. I've really restrained myself from writing anymore because I know that it can be very consuming and time consuming, really. So in the future, for sure, I want to be on here with you celebrating my own book, for sure.
Looking forward for that, Miss Catherine. And please do the book now and stop procrastinating. So, if you're in a relationship, how has it evolved since finishing the book itself?
Just that again.
If you are in a relationship, how has it evolved since finishing the book?
So if you're in a relationship, this book would be hands down a must for both people to read and enjoy together, right? Because here's what I know to be true. I'm actually reviewing a different book right now with a group of ladies. It's kind of like a book review club, if you will. And it's 20 chapters. And we're actually tomorrow in our 11th week. And what I know to be true is we're just consuming one chapter a week. And I read it, a chapter. I have 15 different takeaways, and then the next person has 12 other different takeaways. Like they're reading the same words, but have a completely different perspective, right? Judgment, opinion, views, how they're reading it, how it lands for them, and how it applies into their life. So for this book, I highly recommend, if you're watching this, grab it, read it, listen to it all the way through. And then if your partner is open and curious, and because they're going to see a shift in you for sure, I guarantee it. They're
Yes.
different about you. Then encourage them to read it alongside with you and see with curiosity and compassion what their takeaway is, what their experience is. Because when I coach couples, and I'll coach them separately, 2 different calls, I would never in a million years know that they were married because we'll end up coaching on completely different topics. Like I might coach her on the floss on the counter, but with him, I might be coaching him on, I don't know, like there's never gas in the car. Like it's usually different things that we're coaching on. So you would never know that they were in the same household.
Well, empowering answer, Miss Catherine, and good luck to your goals. And I hope it will materialize sooner or later. And what would be your advice for those people out there who want to read this book?
My advice is to read this book. And if you find it to be of great value, there's actually a second book, Unbreak Your Heart, another variation. It's mainly written by Linda. She just released this book. So I haven't gone all the way through it yet. So otherwise I would have reviewed it today with you. But that would be the second follow-up. Like I said, I'm about halfway through it and just slowly really absorbing it. But
Yes.
this couple is also, they are former therapists. So I think 50 years of, anyways, but they're also coaches as well. They're here in Washington. Again, they're my mentors. I deeply love and appreciate them and admire them. And their work is very simple to understand and simple to apply. So that's the other thing about the relationship handbook, is everything in there is just real easy. And you'll walk away going, why don't they teach this? Why are we not taught this? Right? But they have
Yes.
50 years of being therapists, couples therapists, to really take a lot of what they learned, and they've put this in a book where it's easy to read, easy to understand, and lots of examples.
Indeed, Miss Catherine. How do you think the book applies to non-romantic relationships?
How it applies to non-romantic?
Yes, non-romantic.
Here's what I think. I think it applies to anyone and any relationship you have. So meaning a relationship to yourself, right? So how you view yourself, all the concepts in this book could up level and improve the relationship you have with your own person, right? The ability to understand yourself, love and appreciate this body, this experience that we're having is what we call life. It also could help someone with a relationship to life, right? Being grateful and appreciative of having this life, to be able to experience each and every day. I also believe that this could help with any relationship to others. So that could be a parent, could be your adult children, could be your young children, could be brothers, aunts, uncles, cousins, sisters, all relationships. This book really could apply to anybody's life. So you wouldn't have to be in a romantic relationship to read this book.
Is highly recommended for everyone. Miss Catherine, before we wrap up our discussion for today, I'm inviting you to please do listen to my other podcast, people, other podcast, because Abstract Essay, it's now in its fifth season, Abstract Poetry in second season, and of course, Book 101 Review in its fifth season too, Comedy 101 in second season, and Food 101 in fifth season as well. Like Geography 101 and Love Letters are now in third season, and my baby podcast, Mental Health 101, and Movie 101 Review, and Music 101 in each fifth season. So please do listen to them wherever you listen your podcast. Miss Catherine, what's the biggest takeaway you are walking away with after reading the relationship handbook?
The biggest takeaway is really understanding yourself, understanding your reality, understanding what you're thinking and believing every single moment, you're feeling. And you have a choice in how you think and perceive every single moment. You can look outside and think it's a gloomy day, or you can look outside and, as I am right now, and see the beauty that's surrounding me, right? There's beautiful green trees and flowers freshly blooming and turkeys walking by, and just there's so much beauty that when we're on autopilot and working off of old programming and conditioning and old thoughts and really not being consciously aware in this moment, we don't see that beauty, right? We don't see the butterfly flying by. We're just consumed by me, and what am I going to eat next? And I don't know, how am I going to pay the bills? And all these other things that weigh us down. And so it's really about knowing that you have a choice, that your feelings are created internally, like a power plant. A power plant energy is created internally, not from outside. It's internally created. So that's a really big takeaway. I think that, again, I really wish that what you'll learn in this book was taught in school, that we all were taught this, that we all understood this. We would live happier, freer lives.
Miss Katherine Hood, thank you so much for sharing your knowledge to the world. So can you please invite our listeners to support your coaching as well as your upcoming book?
Thank you.
So where they
Thank you.
gonna find you usually, Miss Katherine? Where they can reach out?
Certainly, mypowerupcoach.com. And you can find me on LinkedIn, Katherine Hood. You should be able to find me. I'm also on Facebook as well. So yeah, I invite you to message me, connect with me, ask questions, and I will definitely get back to you as soon as possible.
Yes, indeed. Most especially love, love, love. Can you be my guest on love letters and let's talk about love?
Let's do.
Yes, just book another episode with me and let's talk about love, love, love. Yes, people, let's support Miss Katherine Hood because if you support her, more and more and more empowering coaching to come. And of course, the book itself. So, Miss Katherine, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
More to come, people. See you soon.